let people get in here?
All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
So we are going right now.
Go ahead.
All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Richard Lewis Brown, and today is October 27th, 2021, and I'm excited to do this evening's Local 1000 Listens to You. Hopefully you're super excited. We have a PowerPoint again. Oh, I'm on this PowerPoint kick. And, someone said, Richard, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And to anyone who's lost their family to breast cancer, or to anyone who's lost a member to cancer, you have my deepest condolences. And so I have a pink tie on, and we're going to get the PowerPoint started here in 1 second. And we won't go tonight for 3 hours. People said that last Wednesday was too intense. They said, Richard, you're too intense. You're too emotional. Be more presidential, more calm, more collective. But give us your TV personality. And that I will do. Yes, I will. This is not a job that requires a salary stipend. This is an adventure. And I'm excited for this adventure. Or as I normally say, this is a journey, a Hall of Fame journey. All right. History of, let me say this word correctly. History of public sector unions in California. All right. And here we go. Presentation overview. We're going to take a look at the Ralph C. Dills Act, 1978, July 1st. Take a look at CSCA, or some people say the California State Employees Association and Collective Bargaining for State Workers. Yay! And the first fair share fees and unit decertification. And our ability to strike, a union's only financial leverage in contract negotiations. The ability to strike in the state of California. Don't just call for a strike. Now, when you call for it and the vote comes back, what do you do? What do you do? Okay, we go on strike. All right, so here we go. Uh-oh, wait a minute. So, people say, Richard, don't get distracted. As you know, we're doing this essential worker premium pay petition. I have one in front of me. A person was very sincere when he gave this to me and he asked me to read his email. Surprise! I'm surprising you. You thought I was not listening, but I do listen. So here it is, and this person sent it to me on, wow, this person gets up on Saturday mornings. He must not be a state employee. So anyway, October 23rd, 10:40 a.m.
I think Richard's on mute.
And, don't tell me I'm on mute, all this talking I'm doing. Okay, so here we go.
Somebody has their audio added?
Does somebody have their audio on? All right, so here we go. Somebody has their audio on in the room. All right, so here we go. Hi, Richard. Somebody's audio is on in the room.
Mr. President, we can't hear.
All right, so we'll try it again. Can you hear me now?
Hold on.
Hold on 1 second. Hopefully I don't have to do
And
this.
when we do, it's an echo.
It's an echo. All right, so give me 1 second. Who has their audio on in the room?
I'm not sure.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I actually have muted us because it's the echo. But, this is not even online.
I don't know how to tell if he's on.
Oh, let me check.
All right, so give us 1 moment.
He's not.
All right, so can they still hear me? Because I know I'm Facebook Live. We're unscripted, as you can see. So, all right, who is on in the room? Somebody's computer is on.
I'm not signed in. You didn't.
All right. Can everyone hear me now, if that's on Zoom? Give us 1 second. All right, so we're going to try it again. Let's see what happens here.
Not sure what happened.
All right, so give us a couple more moments here. And we're going to make sure that no one has their mic on.
We tried them.
Check, check.
Check, check. It's coming from here.
Can we check yours?
So hold on, everyone, because I'm echoing real bad.
I don't know where it's coming from. Somebody joined on their phone?
Does anybody have their phone on in here?
Because we're muted right here, so our voices aren't even coming through from here. It's coming through from somewhere else.
So,
There's one right here that's.
Is it mine?
Yes.
Is it mine?
Sorry.
all right, so listen.
Listen.
So check this out.
See, what happened was.
We're going to start this all over again. Somebody had their mic on, and then the person ran out of the room, so we don't know exactly who it was. So we're going to start all over again. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, the Local 1000 president, fully vested with my powers. Thought I'd missed that. Nope. So today's October 27th, 2021, and we're going to have a great Local 1000 listens to you. And we're going to get started really quickly. Oh, by the way, the pink is for breast awareness this month. Cancer, thank you very much. I'm trying to go really quickly. And we're going to get started. History of public sector unions in California. You can't talk about your present in order to prepare for your future. You can't organize in the present for the future unless you know your past. Now, I know a lot of people say that's not true. All right. So here we go. Presentation overview, historical overview of passage of the Ralph C. Dills Act, July 1st, 1978. The California State Employees Association and Collective Bargaining for State Workers, aka CSEA, our parent organization, before we, quote, separated somewhat and became SEIU Local 1000, December 2nd, 2003. All right, then the fair share fees and unit decertification, we'll talk briefly about that. And our ability as a public sector union in the state of California to go on strike. Not just call for a strike, not just take a strike vote, but when you take the strike vote and it comes back yes, we go on strike. That is our financial leverage. Hopefully that wasn't too intense. All right, so here we go. Quickly, someone did an essential worker premium pay petition, and before you say, hey, Richard, that website's not right, we're on it. It will be corrected by Friday morning. It'll be a lot easier to fill out on this essential worker premium pay. And many people are sending this back in. Thank you. Is the deadline still November 7th? And the answer is absolutely not. The deadline, December 1st. Because we want everyone to have the opportunity to fill this out and get it back to us. All right, so this person filled this out, and this person on Saturday morning at 10:40, this person can't be a state employee up this early on Saturday morning. He sends an email that touched my heart, and so I want to read it for you really quickly. Hi, Richard. Please read this comment on your next call if I'm not able to make it. And that's what I'm doing. Oh, he's here, by the way. All right. I have listened to the weekly calls since their inception. I have heard many complaints about how union membership is decreasing, and there is no focus on increasing membership by the current president. However, let me tell you my personal story. If you would have asked me over a year ago, when I became a state employee, that I would join the union, I would have laughed at you. I have viewed unions generally as a political extension of the Democratic Party, and thus saw no possible way that aligning with a union would even further my interests or be beneficial to protecting my rights. This summer, the state began its vaccine verification policy. I objected to divulging my personal medical information and declined to answer the question. I then saw the union filed an unfair labor practice charge against the state, and I reached out to the president. Amazingly, the president of the union actually engaged with me. I engage with everybody. All you gotta do is call me, or email me, or text me. When I spoke to the president, I told him I was encouraged by his words. But many people say many things, and I wanted to see action. I told the president that if the union achieved a positive outcome on this issue, I would become a dues-paying member. Subsequently, the state settled with the union. We got the state to come to the table on the COVID for state employees represented by Local 1000, the non-healthcare workers. We're still working on the healthcare workers at healthcare facilities, mainly the CDCR. All right. The settlement agreement upheld the privacy rights, medical rights, and religious rights of the members. I am now a dues-paying member of the union. And before I can take credit for that, let me give a shout out to our legal counsel, Ann Giese, chief counsel, and all the attorneys she works with. They did a great job. Now, when I can personally attest to the union treating me as a person and not just as a number, I will zealously advocate to increase the membership of the union through grassroots efforts free to the union. However, if the union's insurrection attempt is successful in forever transforming the members into numbers without votes/voices, I will do everything in my power to encourage everyone I can to leave the worthless organization it would be. Now, as you can see, this was not scripted. I didn't read this whole email before putting this up. You know why? This person is sincere. And we have a lot of people in the union who have become new members who are sincere. And they have strong feelings, just like those who've been dues-paying members for countless years. We're going to unify this union. And I know some people are going to quit the union because they don't like me. And that I can accept. Because in this great country, you have the freedom to join or quit whatever you like. All right. Now, I want to thank this person for this email. And we want everyone to be a dues-paying member of this union. And I know with this, quote, insurrection, or as we call it, the coup by the oppressors, that they're trying to remove me and strip me of everything. I ask you sincerely, don't give up on Local 1000. I ask you that sincerely. I know the argument about if they remove my powers, then they've robbed you of your vote. Well, you're right. But I'm asking you to not lose hope, to keep the faith. Stick with us. We'll get through this. That's a promise. All right. I've been asked by the staff to address this issue. I normally don't listen to the staff. Don't tell you that. However, they want me to address this issue. Toll bridge operators. Why didn't Richard help those toll bridge operators? He's always up in Lassen County, talking about Lassen County. But first of all, I like Lassen County. I told you that, and I meant that. Lansing County is always around me. They're always in my heart. I see them all the time. The toll bridge operators, the date of the side letter agreement, July 23rd, 2021. I just started on June 30th. I was not aware of this agreement until it was brought to my attention. Now, it talks about the toll bridge operators and the custodians. There we go. I caught it. And the custodians, about them losing their jobs because of the COVID. They took the toll bridge collectors out of the toll booths for safety reasons. I was not aware of this, and as you can see, this was up and down the state where you have toll bridge operators, and they're close to big cities. And I kept saying this to you over and over and over again. The Lansing County CCC, that prison, is an isolated rural town. They're not going to be able to find jobs. They're going to have to relocate 4 to 5 hours away and uproot their families. These toll bridge operators, they were not uprooting their families, not to my knowledge. Anyway, the agreement was signed by some Local 1000 bunk chairs 4 and 15, along with some staff, along with Cal HR. As you'll see, you'll notice Richard Lewis Brown. They didn't even bother talking to me about it. It's probably a good thing they didn't ask me, because you know how I get down. I'm not signing up, giving up anything. So my name's not on this. So when they get on Facebook and they're doing all this fancy talking, oh, Richard doesn't care about toll bridge collectors or the custodians who worked at those toll bridge buildings, that's not true. They never brought it to my attention, because you don't see my name nowhere on this document. All right, moving on. Oh, Stockholm Syndrome. Someone asked me to talk about this as it relates to what I'm going through with the coup a couple weeks ago when they tried to strip me of my powers. Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome isn't a psychological diagnosis. Instead, it's a way of understanding the emotional response some, key word, some people have towards a captor or abuser. Some people think the state of California has captured the minds of many people in our union. Some people. Sometimes people who are held prisoner or who are subject to abuse can have feelings of sympathy or other positive feelings towards the captor. This seems to happen over days, weeks, months, or even years, because they have close contact to the captor. You say, well, what does that really mean? Well, there's a possibility, a remote possibility, that maybe some people in Local 1000 feel sympathetic to the state of California, and that they try to rationalize why we should do all the things that we do to help the state of California. Because they say, well, you know, the state, they're our bosses. Pineapple. Pineapple! Yeah, boy. So there's a possibility that they made a possibility. I did not say they were. I said maybe, possibly. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a psychoanalyst. I'm just saying what other people have said of the behavior of some people who say that the state is our boss. We are a labor union. This is a 50-50 partnership. This is like a husband and a wife. 50-50. Stockholm Syndrome again. A bond can grow between the victim and the captor. This can lead to kind treatment and less harm from the abuser, as they might also create a positive bond with their victims. Well, the state knows what's best for us. They would never hurt us. There must be a reason why we're in a financial budget, a financial deficit. They have to be telling us the truth. They don't have to show us their financial statements. No, they don't. They're trying to give us a telework policy. We should just run and take it right now. Sure. Okay. Someone who has Stockholm Syndrome might have confusing feelings towards the abuser, including love, sympathy, empathy, a desire to protect the state of California. We got to do everything we can to protect the state. Let me leave it alone. All right. Stockholm Syndrome, again, might also cause the hostage to have negative feelings towards the police or anyone who might try to attempt a rescue of them. They might have negative feelings. Might, maybe, possibly. I didn't say they did. Hear my words loud and clear this evening. Negative feelings towards the police or anyone who might try to attempt a rescue. Richard to the rescue. And that's why they have these negative feelings about me. And that's why they're doing everything they can on Facebook, all over the media. Richard's angry. He's out of control. You can't trust Richard. He's a Republican. Hope I said that word right. Stephanie. You know, they say all these things because I'm trying to rescue Local 1000. So they have some confusing feelings. They're confused. But that's okay. I'll help them find a straight pathway. That's a promise. All right. History. Memorize this date. September 30th, 1977. And there's your number, 7 and 7. 7437. There's your beginning and the end. Okay? Just saying. September 30th. The number 9 is 3 squared. 7437. There's your number 3. Just saying. Governor Brown, first time in office, signs the State Employee Relations Act. Why is that so important? Bingo. Gives the state employees the right to unionize. I like that. But here's the hook. Here's the hook of the hooks. Every time a politician says, hey, Richard, we're going to help you. We're going to let you unionize. It's going to be great. You'll be able to organize and la, 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 la. And that is great. But here's the trick. Establishes exclusive representation for state bargaining units. You say, why is that tricky? What that tells you, once you find a union or a representative to represent a certain bargaining unit that has different job classifications, an exclusive representative, that representative controls your wages and working conditions. You can't run to no one else. You can run to somebody else, but they still control your wages and working conditions and your contract. Exclusive. See, when they tell you on Facebook, non-members, who cares about them? You know, would they let a non-member go to Costco or Sam's Club? First off, Sam's Club ain't union, okay? Costco is. But you don't have to shop at Costco to get your goods and services. You can go on down to Sam's Club or any other store you want to go to and take your money and buy what you need. This stops all that. You can't join no other union. You can try, you can. But when it comes to your wages, your working conditions, your contract, your leadership, that comes from the union that has exclusive control over you. Just saying. July 1978, CERA becomes the Ralph C. Dills Act. Why? Collective bargaining. Now, in 76, PERB was created. Well, first they had one name, and then they transformed that name into PERB to cover state employees. The 76 Education and Employment Relations Board, it became PERB, so it could cover state employees. And that's our, quote, kind of governing agency. So let me say it for you again. PERB, Public Employee Relations Board. That's what governs public sector unions in the state of California. Public. National Relations Board does not govern us. The NLRB, that's private sector. All right, 1979, here we go. The Higher Education Employee Relations Act for CSU and UC, now they got it as well. And in 79, California State Employees Association, CSEA, process of implementing collective bargaining under the DILS Act. And we also got some of the educational employees as well. All right. PERB establishes 20 civil service state bargaining units. PERB did that. They put the bargaining units together and put the different job classifications in the bargaining units. Bargaining Unit 21 that we have, Local 1000, that came later. That came out of Bargaining Unit 3 that we have. All right. 81, CSEA won 10 of the 19 unit elections in which it competed to be the sole, or quote, the exclusive representative for contract negotiations and representation under the DILS Act. 82, CSEA negotiated a 2-year collective bargaining agreement for 10 civil service bargaining units. And then they also did it for some educational people as well. They did a 3-year contract. Now, here's where it gets tricky. 82, now this is what they say. 2 months of negotiations, after 2 months, Governor Brown on his first ride in office, and CSEA agreed to CSEA and Governor Brown, to a fair share agreement. Now check this out. CSEA agreed to reclassify 2,500 jobs as, quote, management, supervisory, removing those employees from the rank and file and collective bargaining process. All right. And then, with that agreement, in 84, the units of CSEA upheld the fair share vote. Whether you are a dues-paying member or not, you had to still, if you're a dues-paying member, you paid the full dues, but if you were not, they made you pay your fair share. Everybody agreed to that except Unit 1. And then over the years, it would go back and forth if you have to pay fair share or not. But it also depended on the governor, what party he belonged to. All right. You hear people talk about on Facebook about our numbers are so low. We're at 55% membership. And you hear people keep saying, well, we may get decertified if we go below a certain number. No. But since you brought it up, this is the funny thing about me. If you want to do some talking, you got the right dude. In 84, see, we act like we're so perfect, but we're not. In 84, the scientists at Bargaining Unit 11, they decertified from CSEA. And Bargaining Units 18 and 12 also decertified from CSEA. That's true too. That's the history. That's what they don't want to tell you. What was the issue? Failure of representation. But here's something else about hypocrisy. We claim that we don't want to ever get so low that we don't want no one to try to come and decertify us. We don't want no one to ever decertify us. But here's the funny thing about this, about history. When we were CSEA, we tried to decertify 2 other bargaining units. One, wait for it, CCPOA, Bargaining Unit 6, we tried 2 times to decertify them. I'm just saying. All right, right to strike. Now it says here, although the DILS Act does not contain our right to strike, PERB has found protections. Now here's the funny thing. PERB has found protections under the NRA, the NLRA, for state workers to organize a lawful strike. It should be noted The California Supreme Court in '85 said that public employees have the right to strike. Well, how do you know that, Richard? Well, I'm going to go back to December 5th, 2016. We were supposed to go on strike, but on December 2nd, 2016, they found the pathway, and we didn't go on strike. Remember those strike authorization cards we filled out? Oh, you didn't fill one out? Oh, okay. I did. I got a photocopy of mine. Do you? So we do have the ability to go on strike. Once our contract has expired, and then it talks about here, I think it's on the next page. We have the right to go on strike once our contract has expired and we've reached a legal impasse. Let's go on here. Here it is. Strikes and collective bargaining may be used when a contract has expired and an impasse has been declared and all legal impasse procedures have been exhausted. All right. Enough. Hopefully, this will go up on our website because you know I don't do anything. You know I'm distracted. You know I don't fulfill my 10-point platform. You know I don't believe in transparency. That's what they tell you. This is going to go up, and you'll get a chance to review it. It's going to be fun. Education is fun. Why is education fun? Because it shows you where you've been, why you're in the position that you're in right now, and how you can prepare for the future. When people in Local 1000 tell you, we don't care about what happened in the past, we're only worried about right now, you know what you're telling me? You're telling me you're a short-term thinker. That's what you're telling me. When I served the country, we were always studying the past so we could prepare for the present and get ready for the future. When you see politicians on TV, they talk about the past. They tell you religiously about the U.S. Constitution. We're a nation of laws. So, Local 1000, study your past, because I do. So we can prepare for the present and get ready for the future. All right, let's start taking these callers. Should be a fun evening. Who's the first caller? Nobody's raised their hands. Woo-wee! So you mean to tell me I get a chance to talk some more? Oh, okay, hold on. All right. So, is it Robert? Robert?
Yes.
Good evening, Robert. How are you?
Good evening, Richard. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. Talk to
Can you
me.
hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Talk to me.
Richard, okay, I just wanted to make a real comment. I've been watching the what's going on about the all this stuff with trying to take away your powers and things like that.
Okay.
And I just want to make a comment. I was a member of CWA for about 25 years, and then I took an early retirement. And then I started working for the state about 7 years ago. I've always been a pretty staunch union supporter and member. I went on 2 or 3 strikes when I was with CWA. And I can kind of see both sides of this situation with you. Being honest with you, you're kind of not my cup of tea. You're a little too way out there
Okay.
as far as your personality, but that's
Sure.
okay. I don't have to like you to believe you're sincere, and I do believe you're sincere. What I see the problem is what I saw with CWA. Most of our members want everybody else to do the work, and so we let the leaders stay in power forever because it's easier than getting involved. And then what happens is when the people in power start to feel entitled, they start doing the things that you see these people doing because they feel, well, I've been here all this time and we owe them. They don't think it that starkly, but that's kind of how they proceed. So I am totally against any board or presidents usurping the vote of the people, even though I may not have voted for you. I still believe that we should, respect the vote, like you say, on however it had gone. But I also believe that the members got to start waking up and becoming involved and paying attention to what's going on, or you get what you get. You get people that are going to say, hey, nobody's looking, so let's pay ourselves a stipend that we may or may not deserve. Now, I don't know that they do or don't deserve it. All I know is that if once all this is done and they get their way, if the first thing they do is put that stipend back in, well, then that's going to tell me a lot about what it was all about. Because it seemed to me like a lot of anger and rancor came out of the fact that when you stopped those stipends. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying that that's all. I'm just saying that seemed to me, from watching it from afar, seemed to be part of the issue as well. Now, the other thing too is, real quickly, the way the union is organized is so it's so it's like unknown. Like when I joined the union, when I joined the state, I worked for the DMV. I had no idea what our local was or who was there. Every once in a while they would come out, but I never even realized that there were bunk presidents and that and this. In CWA, we had a president of the local, and that was it. And I mean, if there was more to it, I didn't know it. And I was even the steward for a little while, but this just seems so convoluted and crazy. You're the president, they're the board, there's other presidents, and it's just. And I think that makes it so hard for just the regular members or new people to understand, who their representation is. And it just seems like that one thing that would be good, and I think you'd be very good at, Richard, is educating people as to who represents my district, what district am I in. You know that a lot of people at the DMV, they don't know what to put in for their the DLC. They don't know what DSC they're in. They're asking everybody, what DLC are we? They literally don't know. So anyway, I just wanted to make that comment. This is more to the members. Wake up, guys. You're going to get what you get if you let everybody else do the work. If we don't start participating, whether you're for Richard or against Richard, or you feel like he's doing right or he's doing wrong, if you don't speak up, then you're just as bad as anybody who's trying to take him out of office in an illegal way or an unfair way. So anyway, that's all I had to say, and I hopefully it'll help. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you doing these meetings. I really do.
Well, thank you. Listen, Robert, I'm glad you called. I'm glad you acknowledged that I'm not your cup of tea. I've been working with a lot of people who did not vote for me, but I never talk about it. I never say their names openly. And I think if you ever met me, Rob or Robert, you would like me. Some people say I have the TV personality, and then off camera, I'm totally different. I think I'm the same, camera or no camera. You brought up the issue of that stipend. Let me say this to you in a very calm, collective voice. I said I was going to turn down that salary stipend. $46,646 annually, starting when I started on July 1st. People are lying and saying that I took the salary stipend. That's a lie. For a person to turn down $46,646, they must be some type of fool. I'm that fool. I have not signed for the 3 VPs to take the salary stipend. Annika Walls and David Jimenez have been incredible. They have integrity. Does Annika and David agree with every single thing I do? No, they don't. But they have given me this measure of respect about the salary stipends because they respect themselves. And I respect that greatly about those two people. That money is a big issue. And what you said is the chair, this coup, the chair, Bill Hall, is chasing money. Can I prove it? No, I can't prove it yet. Because you and other people know that if you create that chair position, they're going with that salary stipend. You know that, and I know that. When I did those videos and those PowerPoint slides about $500,000 from June of 2016, June 26, 2016, and by the way, that vote is up on the website, in case you missed it. Up to now, to June of 2021, $500,000. And I put those names up with the board and how they voted. Uh-oh, what do you know? Bill Hall. Bill Hall. Yeah, I guess he needs that money. This is about money. But I have told people, and I am not backing off this, this is about money and race in this country. Always has been. I can't say it always will be, but I know how my family got here, my ancestors. These people want to remove me from office because of the money and the transparency and the hope that I'm giving people. How do you know I'm providing hope? When you talk about the structure, people don't know about the structure. When I became president, that website was opened up. Was it on the first day, Brian? First day or second day? Yeah, okay, well. All right, so it was opened up really quickly when I took office on June 30th. And it has not been shut down. Their effort to remove me, they're going to shut that website down and lock up everything. And you, Robert, and everybody else knows this. Doesn't matter about my behavior, good or bad. On the website, it talks about the structure of the union. It has that DLC map. I had to tussle with people to get that up on the website, but the DLC map, you should be able to click on the DLC map and find the DLC that you're in. We have addresses of work sites, I believe except for the critical ones to protect people's privacy. We were being transparent. We are still being transparent. I am the original transparent one. If you still don't know your DLC, you can call the MRC at 866-471-7348. If you can't find out your DLC when you call that number, call this number. 408-207-2339. Leave your name, your agency, the address of your agency, and your job classification. I'll call you back. 408-207-2339. In fact, anytime people have problems with Richard, just call Richard. Text Richard if you don't like to talk on the phone. Email me. Give me a few days to respond to your email. But I will respond. Or you can call the MRC 866-471-7348. We'll talk more about transparency here in a second. And we'll talk more about that money. Money, 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 money. Next caller, Yolanda Williams. Good evening.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
I want to say that I agree with Mr. Robert in regards to if you don't get involved, union members out here, then you get what you get. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to be in a union with, that's an expensive vote. If that's all we're going to do is vote. Well, then you get what you get, just like Robert said. And I do agree with him stating that it is very confusing. I was talking to somebody in the Teamsters, and they didn't understand why you have DLC, president, and treasurer on 726, and then you have a DLC on a 715, and it's just so confusing. So I guess if you do something to kind of educate some members, maybe they'll be able to talk to other people and kind of, get people to understand how this union is working. Because that's probably another reason why nobody gets involved, because they get confused. They don't know. Like you said, some people don't even know their DLC president, And some of these DLC presidents are not trying to find the members either. Let's get that correct. Okay? And my last two is, the closed caption on here is ridiculous. I mean, when you say public, they say plug. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what type of closed caption is on here, but whoever it is, y'all need to get a different one because this is like ridiculous. And I would like to talk to you. If you could call me probably tomorrow in regards to SEIU and an increase or something that I've heard about that I think I need to talk to you about to get some more information. So with that, I guess that's it for me. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you, Yolanda. Listen, Yolanda, I want to go back to that last point about the closed caption. We've been using closed captions since the second time I started doing videos on Wednesday night. And I don't know what has happened since last week up to now on the closed caption, but I apologize. We didn't do it purposely. I don't know if the PowerPoint is screwing up the closed caption. I don't know if I'm talking differently. I'm not dramatic enough. Maybe, I don't know, when I was, as some people say, I was going there initially, closed caption worked just great. But now that I'm more presidential, I'm more dignified, I'm more reserved, maybe the closed captioning doesn't know who I am anymore. I'm just saying. Oh, moving on, the confusing structure. Now let's talk about that for a second. We're 100,000, right under 100,000. 51 DLCs, District Labor Council areas. 51 presidents. We're huge. Not 10 bargaining units. Over 730 different job classifications. So we need presidents in these 51 DLCs along with 10 bargaining unit negotiating chairs, the committees, and then they have their chairs to handle the massive amount of work because the staff cannot do it all on its own because we're a member-ran union. I apologize if that structure is confusing. I imagine that we'll be putting up a chart. Where is he at? Oh, he's out of the office. We'll be putting up a chart so it's less confusing. So you'll see 51 DLC presidents. Their names are already up. The DLCs are already listed on the map. Their e-board, their officers on these 51 DLCs, because the DLC presidents can't do all the work on their own, their names are there under the e-board, the executive board for each DLC. The 10 bunk chairs. And of course, the 4 statewide officers. That's what it is. 65, and I don't like that term, that corporation term we use, board of directors, because the people we're fighting are corporations. And I hate having to use that board of directors term. I hate it. Respectfully, I hate that with positive energy and enthusiasm. So I don't like that. But we're 65 strong. 51 DLC presidents, 10 bunk chairs, 4 statewide officers. Now, if you noticed how I'm talking. 51 DLC presidents, 10 bunk chairs, 4 statewide officers. I did not say no chair of no board. Didn't say that. Ain't no litigation committee or whatever little committees, and ad hoc, and whatever they know. Nope. All right, next caller. Thank you. You're so good. Maria. I'm not saying your name correctly, but please forgive me. Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay, hi, my name is Myra. Mr. President, thank you for so much your transparency and what you do for us. Last week I viewed your video and was amazed and encouraged to get on this call for the first time. So bear with me.
Okay.
I've been an employee with the state for 5 years and I've also been a union member for 5 years as well. I'm currently employed at MCSP. I just wanted to have worked in regards to the mandates for the COVID vaccine.
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry.
My favorite.
Wait, I'm so,
Trying to petition for it. It's okay.
no, can you turn your volume up on your phone a little bit? Can you turn your volume up on your phone?
Can you hear me
Oh,
better now?
yes, now I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me
you.
better now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So like I've said, you have stopped the Lassen County closure. You have worked with the mandates in regards to the COVID vaccine. And my favorite, you were trying to petition for essential worker pay for us. Something our previous president quickly said no to. And as a first line, being on the first line, essential employee, I was at work every day. I'm actually an LVN, so I dealt with, COVID positive cases. And I was overworked. Not only that, there was pay taken away from me. We were short-staffed all the time. So again, I want to say thank you to you. And as a union member, I wanted to bring up an issue that we are currently having at MCSP. Our post and bid will be happening next week on November 2nd, and we are very unhappy about the positions that are being on our post and bid. For example, certain clinics have lost post, which concerns me because there's one clinic in particular that had 2 nurses and is currently being shrunken down to 1 nurse for a whole yard. That is not safe for us, for our license, or for patients. I have contacted the MRC in regards to this, and from the information that I've gotten was they were not sure of who the person was that were assigned to this, to our post and bid. So this is the reason I came on to this call, is because I'm a voice for many people that I want something to be done, because we're very unhappy about our positions that were changed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. Listen to this. I'm going to go to your last question, your last comment about the clinics and losing positions. We have people traveling the state helping with these post and bid at the different prisons. And I know this is a hot button issue. I don't want you to lose hope, and I've heard this before, and we don't want you to feel unsafe. I want you to call me at 408-207-2339. I don't want to talk on Facebook about certain issues regarding safety, because we want everyone to be in a safe workplace. And then when you call me, I want to make sure that someone reaches out to you that has the expertise, because I don't know everything, particularly about post and bid. And I'm not going to try to act like I do, but I do care. I've heard questions about staffing issues at agencies. All right. Now, Lassen County, thank you for the respect. I wish I could say that I stopped that prison closure. We have slowed it down. We have delayed it. We're fighting in court. I cannot take recognition for stopping the prison closure for CCC. I want to. I really do. Because I've been sticking my chest out. But I can't. Not that I have much chest. But look, we've slowed it down. We're in court. And we're trying to fight for these people's jobs in Lassen County at CCC. And we're doing it sincerely. And in my personal opinion, the closure of this prison is a violation of the penal code, not the penal code, the code 2067 involving the closure of prisons. That's my opinion. We talk about one quick thing about the prior president. People don't hear me say this very often. No, she didn't do the essential worker premium pay petition. And guess what? Richard wasn't smart enough to do it either until Yolanda Williams put me on blast. And I say that with respect, Yolanda. She said, get it done. And she had to tell me a second time. What the former president did say is she wanted everyone to get the money, and not just people who went to work. And I know people say that if you work from home for your telework, you didn't continue to go to work, that you shouldn't be eligible for the essential worker premium pay. This is where I upset people, and this is where you'll see one of the few times me and the former president, Yvonne Walker, agree. You can't tell me nothing, or you can't tell me anything about the 100,000 represented employees we have. Every single one of you needs that money. You deserve it. You've been disrespected and underappreciated from the time you started state service. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. The COVID, yes, I am going to take credit for that COVID. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And we're not done fighting, and I know that COVID agreement for non-health care is not perfect. I know. And I know for those healthcare workers, you're not satisfied either. And I'm getting emails saying that some agencies, if you show your vaccination card, they don't make you wear a mask. But to those who don't show their vaccination card, they make you mask up. That's a problem. I do have action. So a lot of people, Maria, when you were saying that I show action, I do show action. And thank you for giving me that credit. Some people think that I'm distracted with all the side noise. No, I'm not as good, not to sound like I have a low self-esteem, but I can multitask. I may not be able to multitask as good as someone else, but I can multitask. And I can argue and still be doing my regular job. And I can argue and still be listening to every word that you say, too. And give it right back to you later when you didn't expect it. Thank you for the respect. Oh, I guess I'm talking too long. Next caller. Who's the next caller? DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz. You ain't trying to hear me talking tonight. Okay. Hi, Mary.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for taking my call. Hi. I kind of wanted to piggyback with the same sentiments. Thank you, Richard, for what you're doing, meeting with the HFE and the shoes, and working on the cease and desist for our items, that we have going on. I appreciate it. I will tell you, someone had called me today, and this was, they actually work in the prisons. And in the prisons, they have to get tested weekly, Richard. And we used to have it before where, if you tested positive, you would have that, I can't remember help me out here, the 10 days that they would pay you for, that you'd have to self-contain at home, and that went by the wayside. Well, now what's happening is they're getting tested weekly, Richard, and it's coming back false positive. They're having to utilize their own time, they get retested, and then it comes back negative. So that 1 or 2 days, how come they're having to use, I guess my question is, they're having to use out of their bank. And so there's an issue going on with that testing, because it's proven that you can have a false positive. Well, at the time they're going to send you home, you're going to have to utilize your time, your bank time. And so you go get another test somewhere else, comes back negative, okay, that's how you're able to come back to work, but still we're draining the members' bank time. And my question is, and so this was my recommendation, put it down as a workman's comp. You must have got COVID on the job, but my question is, I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed. So I don't know if anybody else has emailed you about that, but that's a real issue that is happening out there. And this was in the prisons. The other thing, I appreciate the gentleman who called about that he had been a state employee for a while and he didn't know about these DBERS and all these, because you know what, Richard, it helps to let us know if we as leaders are the voice of our members out in our work sites. How is it that some of these work sites haven't heard of the process? How is it that they haven't connected with their DLC presidents, their DBERs, their bunks? There's a connection missing there. And I appreciate the Survey Monkeys that are coming out. Let's keep them coming so we can reach everybody and direct them to the website so that they can get educated and they'll know that and we want to hear their voice. And I'm glad they're coming on the call. And thank you so much for taking my call. Thank you for all you do. We support you 100%.
DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz, thank you, and I support you and those heavens. And I told y'all during the campaign, and the campaign's over, and I stayed consistent, and I told you that I would support y'all, and I had your back. That's what I'm doing. The COVID testing issue, the lost time, whoever's losing time, that grievance should be filed through your job steward. And it should state on our website, on the COVID FAQs, you should not be losing your time. And if there's a question about that COVID testing, that settlement agreement did not talk about that testing. That's still up to discussion. That can be renegotiated. And I know a lot of people feel that the COVID, the pandemic testing is not right. That they give false positives, and they're using that same color company that they don't trust. So there's a lot of questions behind that. As far as people not hearing about the structure, our structure, if you remember, last week I said that 33 DLC presidents ran uncontested. 33 DLC presidents ran uncontested. So people don't know what's really going on. And some of those DBERs ran uncontested. Now those DBERs vote for the bunk team and those bunk chairs that negotiate our contracts with, of course, yours truly, Richard Lewis Brown, as chief negotiator. We're going to correct those problems. Just be patient. You know, everything's up on the website, but obviously the structure of our union is not up there good enough. We're going to get that corrected, hopefully by, yes, sure, very soon. All right, next caller, Alfred Torres. We're going to try to wrap this call up really quickly here. So go ahead, Alfred.
Good evening, Mr. Thank you for taking my call. You know, mine is more of a concern, and I have a statement I want to make because I've done some research for my own current situation, but pretty much is I'm trying to find out why are departments not providing assistance to individuals with underlying medical conditions. And what I mean by that, as a part of COVID-19's prevention program, you know, all employers must develop a written program or ensure those elements are included in any existing injury or illness prevention program. You know, the employer is responsible for communicating to employees about the prevention procedures and, in pertinent part, follow to return to work criteria set forth by Cal OSHA, CDC, and CDPH. And, you know, furthermore, employers are required to communicate to their employees, especially with elevated risk factors, you know, including myself with COVID-19, can request accommodation, you know, they request for accommodations for, you know, their employer. Now, if they're going to require us to come back to the office, you know, a better system of communication should be modeled first by the first and second line managers. And pretty much what I'm asking with this is why, you know, can the union, being you as a president or someone in the union, ask these departments to be more transparent in their policy, because this impacts all of us, because it's basically a health and safety issue, but they try to keep throwing it under a telework issue. We went into telework because of the health and safety. And it upsets me because my own personal situation, they try to throw you into something that all they're going to do is set you up for failure. That's all I have to say. So, hopefully, Alfred, you know who your job steward is or your DLC president. You can always call, or you can even ask me, because I know you have my number. A grievance needs to be filed for you. There is no clear-cut standard for these agencies regarding these medical accommodations.
And you make a great point. And we have to file grievances on this. Because these different agencies are doing different things, and no one is fully, you can't put your life at risk, and your boss should be able to understand them, but it may not be your boss. It may be his or her boss going up the chain, up to HR, about how the agency is dictating what they do on medical accommodations. So we gotta file grievances on this. And I have spoken to our legal staff here about this issue, because I don't want you to think that I haven't, because I take your messages you send me very seriously. All right, we're gonna go to DOC President 770, Nicole. Good evening, Nicole. Good evening, Nicole.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, President Brown. I was just wondering, are you still working on the ATO, the administrative time off, extending that during the COVID if people are getting allergic reactions from the COVID vaccine to stay home the following day?
We sent that
using administrative time off?
We sent that email out. College Arden has not responded back yet.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's the only question I had.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right, so we're going to go to Betty Jackson Stewart, and then we're going to end with Yolanda Williams, and we're going to get out of here this evening. Good evening, Betty Jackson Stewart.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. So I would like to respond to the young man who spoke up about the employers not having a program in place to assist the employees. And I would like to say to him, there is an employee health program, and the pilot began in the CDCR department. And he is right. They should implement an employee health program throughout all of the state different departments for the state workers, where he would have easy access to that information, and there would be informed individuals there who could answer his questions and help him to remain safe. And I just wanted to inform him of that, and I will take that back to headquarters and ask, are there any plans to branch out into other areas of the state, because that is the program that is in the CDCR, and it is helping with the COVID for the people who are listening. And because he's a person who wants to listen and wants to know more, this would be a perfect opportunity for himself and others like him. And I just wanted to say that. And Richard, keep doing what you're doing. You are doing a fantastic job. And for the person who spoke out earlier, yes, those people that meeting and all of that, it was for greed. Those people want not only the stipend, those people want to be placed on union leave and collect money for that, and they are doing nothing for the union. The most they've done is when they had that secret meeting and went in there and did whatever it was they collaborated to do against Richard, and it's all finance driven, all of it. I don't see the good in it. I don't see the importance in it. I don't see the emergency in it. I can't figure out any of that except for the greed. And that's the only part they didn't mention in the letter. In the letter they wrote, they never mentioned that they want to be on leave and collect our union dues to pay for them to be on leave. And they never mentioned in that letter anything about that stipend. It's about greed. And so they throw Richard under the bus to pad their pockets. Anyway, thank you, Richard, for all you do. And don't think we don't notice, and do not think that your efforts go unnoticed. You work very hard for us, and we're very appreciative. Thank you very much.
Betty Jackson Stewart, thank you very much. I've been reminded, I spoke earlier about the essential worker premium pay petition. I'm being reminded to talk about it again, because this is not about my personal greed. This is about making sure that you get your respect for all the hard work you've done during this crisis that they say is not over, or is it over because they're having you come back to work? I'm confused. I don't know. And we're going to extend this out to December 1st, and we're going to have this new link ready by Friday, so you can just go on there and fill it out real quick and send it back. You won't have to go on it right now and download it, fill it out, and then, you know, scan it and then email it back. We're going to make it a lot easier. We're going to keep the purple text going. Okay? And we'll continue to send out the emails. And if we don't have your email on file, please call 866-471-7348 to ensure we have your email on file. Make sure you don't have a don't contact on the first page, and have that person check the second page for every action to make sure that that's marked correctly, because if it's not, then they'll have to fix that second page, and then they'll send you 2 emails, and you'll have to confirm that second email to make sure your email's right. All right, last caller, Yolanda Williams, you're back on. You're going to close us out. You're going to take us home.
Well, thank you very much, President Brown. I appreciate it. First of all, great idea for the link. I wonder who told you about that. Anyway, post and bid. You know, there are words that you guys use that new employees don't understand. Okay? I don't understand what post and bid is. There's some other stuff that I hear and I don't understand. So I think that it would be nice if when you do speak about certain things like that, that you say a little, with post and bid is this, this, and that for people who are new, okay? And also, I want to take this time, and I appreciate you giving me the last word, because I think Andrian is on, and I want to say that I appreciate this young lady because her and her supervisor was very, very, very professional when they helped me 2 weeks ago. And so shout out to you, Andreen, and your supervisor. I don't understand why I don't remember her name, but sorry, but you know who I'm talking about. So anyways, I apologize for that.
Wait, who was it? Who was that again? Who was that again? No, who was the person who helped you?
Andreen is a site organizer or something.
Who?
She helped me. She's in
New York
721.
Okay.
Andreen.
Andreen, okay.
Scott.
Okay, perfect.
Scott. And her supervisor. So I just wanted to say that, you know what, our reps, they are on it, and at least I could see that they was definitely helping me out, especially her supervisor who gave me a tip before we went and talked to everybody. So I wanted to say thank you. And that's it. And I did tell everybody that I've met so far 2 people to get like 5 people to send in this premium thing, but you know, the link is pretty good.
Okay, so Yolanda's right. Again, the link is she told me. So we're gonna have this link by Friday, and we're gonna get people to send in this essential worker premium pay petition. I'm glad that she had help from the staff, because oftentimes the staff gets ridiculed for not working hard enough and not returning phone calls. In this case, the staff helped one of our representative employees, and this is fantastic. And this is a great way, as the last caller, to give a shout out to the staff for all of the amazing work that they do. And I know the new enhanced URC may be challenging for some, but we're going to get through this. And by putting one rep per DLC, or in some cases, there's a few DLCs that have 2 reps because of their size, this is going to be able to provide better representation. And we're going to let that representation, along with organizing, and it just, okay, these people. All right, so we're excited. It's 7:45. We got through the night, and I'm very happy. It's October 27th, 2021. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, Local 1000 President, fully vested. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.